struggle is being upheld today amid raising concerns over xenophobia. Our reporter, Tbcnews, now looks back at Tanzania's contribution and lessons for present.
The people of South Africa have not acquiesced in their degradation. Their spirit has not been broken, even by murder and torture on a large scale.
From the 1960s through the early 1990s, Tanzania became a cornerstone of Africa's liberation movements under the leadership of Julius Nyerere. As a committed frontline state, Tanzania opened its doors to freedom fighters from South Africa, providing not just refuge but also the tools to fight apartheid. The African National Congress and the Pan-Africanist Congress established operational bases in the country, coordinating resistance efforts from Tanzanian soil. In areas like Congo, military training camps were set up to prepare fighters for the struggle ahead. Meanwhile, in Mazimbu, thousands of South African refugees, including women and children, found safety, education, and a sense of community far from home. Tanzania also played a key diplomatic role, amplifying anti-apartheid voices on the global stage and pushing for sanctions against the apartheid regime. These collective efforts contributed to a defining moment in history: the 1994 South African general election, which brought Nelson Mandela into power and marked the birth of democratic South Africa. Today, as South Africans commemorate Freedom Day, it is also a moment for reflection, not just on political freedom, but on the values that sustain the struggle. However, in recent years, South Africa has faced recurring incidents of xenophobia, with foreign nationals, many from fellow African countries, targeted in waves of violence and discrimination. How does a nation that once depended on the solidarity of its neighbors reconcile with growing hostility towards them? Experts say the answer lies in remembering the spirit of Ubuntu, the shared humanity that defined the anti-apartheid movement. They argue that the same unity that brought freedom must now be used to confront inequality, unemployment, and social tensions without turning against fellow Africans. Because, as history shows, Africa's strength has always been in its solidarity. As South Africa celebrates its freedom, the legacy of countries like Tanzania serves as a reminder that liberation was never a solitary journey, but a collective African effort. And perhaps the true meaning of freedom lies not only in political independence, but in preserving unity, dignity, and respect for all. Tbcnews, TBC News.
TBC News earlier spoke with political experts Paternus Niegira and Novatus Igosha on the South Africa's Freedom Day, which seemed to be overshadowed by rising anti-immigrant sentiment and sporadic violence, threatening the nation's social cohesion and democratic ideals.
There are still major challenges facing the South Africa, and we can't say they're completely kind of an independence country, because even many other countries are still under the same kind of influence. They are still working on their economy. So economic issues to deal with, economic structure, for example, unemployment, issues on inequality, race plus class overlapping, issues to deal with the slow growth, issues, governance issues, we can say corruption and weak institutions, issues to deal with the service delivery failures, local government inefficiency, and when you look on the issues to deal with the social perspective, South Africa still with a high level of crime and violence, education inequalities, issues to deal with the urban pressure, where we still with some informal settlements, and it's still with the very concocted kind of identity and cohesion. That's why we see these issues to deal with the xenophobia being so high. Notion of this public, we can say with the Pan-African identity tensions are still very high, and so forth.
It gives fear between Africans themselves, but also it curtails the very foundation of human rights, economic rights, and the freedom of movement of immigrants, because it implants a very negative attitude between nativism or natives and aliens, and creating hatred, fear against other Africans who go to South Africa legitimately for business and sometimes even for education opportunities. So I think xenophobia is also a result of some sort of an ignorance of where Africans came from, especially in terms of freedom and independence against a colonial legacy, against neo-colonialism, and including the harsh regimes of apartheid that affected South Africa itself, but at the same time, former times of Namibia or Germany, West Africa.
The Minister of Finance, Ambassador Hamis Musa Omar, says the government of Tanzania remains committed to collaborate with Spain in priority areas including economy, infrastructure, climate change, and human resources, aiming at stimulating inclusive development in the country. Let's get more details.
The Minister of Finance, Ambassador Hamis Musa Omar, made the remarks when he met and held talk with the Ambassador of Spain, Paloma Robes, focusing on various key issues of cooperation between Tanzania and Spain in Dodoma. Ambassador Omar says the government continues to collaborate with Spain to secure financing for national development projects aiming to boost economic growth and improve community services.
Tanzania highly appreciates the most recent concessional loan financing amount to around $30 million for the implementation of the Msimbazi Basin Development Project, which is a significant contribution towards enhancing flood control, environmental management, and urban resilience in Dar es Salaam. In addition to this valuable support, we, the Ministry of Finance, also encourage continued engagement with the embassy in identifying additional areas for cooperation, including technical assistance in areas of capacity building, but more so on potential financing of other strategic development projects of mutual interest as well.
On the other hand, the Spanish ambassador to Tanzania, Paloma Serra, expresses her country's commitment to continue assisting Tanzania in implementation of various development projects, including transport infrastructure and other social projects that are of value to the citizens.
We can improve this relationship in terms of investment, in terms of tourism. And, well, you know already that we have supported many different projects, Tanzanian projects, which are important. And for you, you mentioned the one in Msimbazi. Last week, I was in Dar for the signing, the official signing of the project. We hope that it will be concluded at the end of this year, I think. So that will be a great change for the residents of all through the Msimbazi Basin.
The Spanish ambassador to Tanzania says her countries continue to assist Tanzania in the implementation of various projects, including the development of the Msimbazi River Basin, which, upon completion, will bring positive results in the residents of Dar es Salaam.
Minister of Minerals Anthony Mavunde says the government intends to equip mineral appraisers with camera-fitted helmets to enhance monitoring of Tanzanite inspections in Mererani to curb smuggling as part of the 2026-2027 fiscal year strategy aimed at maximizing revenue from the Mererani Mining Center. Mavunde made the remarks in Parliament in Dodoma while presenting to the Parliament the estimates of revenue and expenditure of the Ministry of Minerals for the financial year 2026-2027. Here's the report by Halfan Binde, read by Teddy Mparanyanga.
Tanzania's mining sector has achieved a historical milestone with its contribution to the national GDP, hitting 10.1% in 2024, exceeding the 10% target for 2026, according to the Minister of Minerals, Anthony Mavunde. The sector, driven by gold, critical minerals, and robust reforms, is aimed at accelerating economic growth and increasing revenue to Tanzanian shillings 1 trillion in the 2024-2025 financial year.
As of March 2026, a total of 1.03 trillion shillings, equivalent to 114.94% of the revenue collection target for the perspective period, had been collected and remitted to the Treasury. During the period from July 2025 to March 2026, the ministry, in collaboration with the government authorities, successfully seized various types of minerals worth 3.31 billion shillings in 55 incidents across several mineral-rich regions.
Anti-smuggling strategy includes a major focus in curbing illegal mineral trafficking to ensure national benefit, including the strengthening of mineral markets and purchasing centers.
In continuing efforts to strengthen control and prevent the smuggling of Tanzanite, the ministry, through the Mining Commission, will complete the procurement of helmets equipped with special cameras for inspection purposes. It will also ensure that inspectors use these helmets to enhance supervision and monitoring of production and mineral trading activities in the Mererani-controlled areas.
For the 2026-2027 financial year, the Tanzanian government has announced a strategic focus on small-scale miners to expand the national tax base and increase revenue collection.
The ministry will continue to strengthen the implementation of programs aimed at empowering small-scale miners to carry out their activities productively. This includes allocating them designated mining areas and facilitating access to license in location with basic geological data, particularly through the MBT program. Additionally, measures will be taken to revoke inactive prospecting license and return them to the government for proper reallocation to small-scale miners.
But the minister expresses the government's position on mineral product services provided by Tanzanians not to be interfered with.
It is prohibited for any non-citizen to distribute products or services that are advertised as being 100% Tanzanian.
The Ministry of Minerals has requested Parliament to allocate 174.98 billion shillings for the implementation of its development responsibilities.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Communication, Development, Gender, Women and Special Groups, Dr. John Jingu, says the Great Lakes region has made major strides since the adoption of UN Security Council Resolution 1325 of 2000, which is a key indicator of the country's efforts to address gender issues. Here are more details.
Great Lakes regions. Conflicts in some of the Great Lakes countries have brought severe suffering, especially to women and girls, through sexual and gender-based violence. If these conflicts are not properly managed, there is a possibility of causing even a greater harm. The Secretariat of the Great Lakes region comprises of 12 member countries, including Tanzania, which cooperate in social, economic and political issues with a focus on peace, security, governance and development. The training is funded by the government of Tanzania in collaboration with the German Agence for International Cooperation.
Allopathic and traditional medicine are increasingly working side by side in Tanzania, reflecting a growing shift towards a more integrated healthcare system. Speaking to TBC News, ethnobotany expert Joseph Otieno says the government is taking deliberate steps to strengthen traditional medicine in line with the World Health Organization Global Strategy for 2026 to 2034. He explains that Tanzania is prioritizing evidence-based practices to ensure that all traditional medicinal products are safe, effective, and reliable for patients.
Tanzania government has taken a positive move towards strengthening traditional medicine, and this is in response to the global traditional medicine strategy of the WHO that spans from 2026 to 2034 with some of the main objectives. First of all, Tanzania wants to ensure that the medicinal products that are given to the patients have evidence-based safety and efficacy, but still Tanzania government, especially through the Council of Traditional Medicine, ensures that control and regulation is measured, and all the advertisements that are given are in line with the regulations. And also, we advocate for cross-sectoral collaborations with the potential partners, including bilateral and multilateral collaborations with the potential partners.
Meanwhile, efforts to integrate healthcare systems are also being supported from the conventional medicine side. A representative from Integrative Health Global, Dr. Elena Ladas, explains how conventional medicine is working with the Tanzanian government to improve public health, highlighting the importance of collaboration between traditional and modern medicine in achieving better healthcare outcomes.
So we really need to know what level of evidence is available so we can safely incorporate these natural remedies into conventional care. Why are we doing this? Because they could be beneficial, they're less toxic and less expensive. So, but with everything that could be a benefit, there's a risk involved. And so it's really, really important that we have a close collaboration with academicians, hospital administrants, as well as the ministry. We've been working with several hospitals around the country, advancing food as medicine, really teaching families how to incorporate healthy foods into their children's diet, children with cancer, diabetes, and other chronic disease. So that's a real benefit, and we know we can do it. And what's amazing about Tanzania is the openness to both clinicians and families have to evidence-based medicine. I think we need to do that for integrative health. And I think traditional medicines, there's lots of opportunity, but there's also a lot of risk. So we really need to be mindful about how we approach this field.
Experts say strengthening cooperation between the two systems could play a key role in expanding access to safe, effective, and inclusive healthcare services across the country. The government, through the Bank of Tanzania, has been taking various steps to ensure that financial transaction services through mobile networks are available at affordable cost by strengthening the payment systems infrastructure, reducing the electronic transactions costs, and creating a friendly policy and regulatory environment to stimulate the use of digital financial services and reduce costs for citizens. Here are more details.
Minister for Finance, Ambassador Hamis Musa Omar, made the remarks in the Parliament in Dodoma while responding to a question from the Kinondoni Member of Parliament, Tarimba Gulam Abbas, who wanted to know why the government fails to enforce inductive prices for mobile money service deduction. He mentioned the steps taken for the period 2024-2025, where in 2024, the Bank of Tanzania implemented reforms to reduce transaction costs, including setting maximum fee of 2,000 Tanzanian shilling for interbank transaction on Tanzania Automated Clearing House and instant payment systems.
Sera yetu hasa ilikuwa ni kuendelea kuwa na soko huria.
Our policy has specifically been to continue maintaining a free market while safeguarding the interest of consumers. At the moment, there is no price cap, but the central bank continues to closely monitor the situation and provide guidance on the fees charged. Mobile service providers have been urged to be transparent and clearly disclose the charges imposed on money withdrawal and transfer services. The central bank has also set comparison benchmarks that help users of these services see the level of deductions being charged.
He added that in 2025, the Bank of Tanzania reducted the cost of digital money transfer transaction, including transferring money from mobile to bank accounts and from bank to mobile through the Tanzanian Instant Payment Systems TIPS. Ambassador Omar explained that transaction costs have been reduced and limit of 5,000 shillings has been set for the transaction exceeding 500,000 shilling, where the transaction not exceeding that amount guidelines for cost limit at a different level have been specified. Furthermore, he highlighted that the government, through the Bank of Tanzania, will continue to collaborate with the electronic systems, services provided, access transaction cost, and take appropriate measures to further reduce cost without compromising the stability and security payment systems.
Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look at our today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. And don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. And now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at our weather update for the next 24 hours.
A warm welcome to you and thank you for joining us. This is 24 hours of the forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority starting from tonight, 9 p.m. For tonight, over western part of the country and Lake Victoria Basin, we expect partly cold condition, thunder showers over a few areas. For northeastern Highland and northern coast, we expect partly cold condition, rain showers over a few areas, while the remaining parts of the country is expected to be dry. For tomorrow, wind is expected to flow at the speed of 20 kilometers per hour. The state of the lake and the state of the sea is expected to be slight. Rainfall models are still portraying chance of rainfall over most parts of the country. And this comes with an advisory of severe weather, of which Tanzania Meteorological Authority has issued an advisory of short period of heavy rain over a few areas of Tabora, Kigoma, Geita, Kagera, Mwanza, Shinyanga, Mara, Simiu, Arusha, Kilimanjaro, and Manyara region. Necessary measures and precautions should be taken. And now let us see of the weather details. Over western parts of the country, Lake Victoria Basin and northeastern Highlands, we expect cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun intervals. For southwestern Highland, southern region, and southern coast, we expect partly cloud condition, light rain showers over a few areas, and sun periods. Central part of the country and northern coast, we expect partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun periods. And now let us take a look of the next 4 days weather forecast. For Dar es Salaam, we expect rain showers and thunder showers. Dodoma, we expect rain showers, sun periods, and light rain. For Mbeya, we expect rain showers and light rain. Mwanza, we expect thunder showers. Kilimanjaro, we expect thunder showers. Morogoro, we expect rain showers and thunder showers. Arusha, we expect thunder showers. And that's all for today. Make sure to catch up again tomorrow. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Mariam Faris. Bye-bye.
With that weather update, that marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Agnes Tuniga. Thank you very much for watching and good night.
Unaangalia TBC1, ukweli na uhakika.